The quickest route to the surge is due east. Past the second galley.
Shula, how did these ships come to be here?
What do you imagine happens when an icon of water gets angry?
Really, brother, did you have to ask?
Tonberries. Foul creatures consumed by their hatred for everyone and everything.
Everything, save the sharp knives, it seems.
can smell the sea.
It's not far now.
How will we reach the surge?
We'll follow the coastline north. There's a bridge that'll take us across to the Cape.
Might I inquire about the Ray of Light?
It's what prevents the surge from being reclaimed by the sea. And Dwalius by his people.
Come on. already. All yours, Torgal. Over here! Now, Torgal! I needed that. Help me, boy. Torgal, kill! You said before that the child is bound within the Surge. But you've yet to tell us how we're meant to reach him. I trust we won't have to hold our breath.
No. The Surge wraps around the cape without engulfing it. If we continue to its tip, there is a path down to the seabed. And the wave's origin.
All right. It won't be the first dominant we've met at the bottom of the ocean.
Hear me, mine ancestors.
When you've decided what you want, just let me know. Here you are.
What is it you want? Till next time, then.
It's not much further now.
The path seems well kept. Do you and the villagers often come this way?
Only me. Once every new moon without fail. It is my duty both as village elder and Walius's descendant.
But surely no one blames you for what happened. Why should you bear the responsibility alone?
You misunderstand. I do it because I want to. To show him that he isn't alone, and that there are still some of us who would see an end to his suffering. Suffering you will soon witness with your own eyes. The forest grows quickly here. Left unattended, the path would be reclaimed in a matter of moons.
Does the light point the way to the child?
It does indeed.
Look at all the droplets of water suspended in midair.
Where they have remained untouched by time for 80 summers.
It's not right.
No. It's not.
There. Up ahead. Down in the center. Follow me.
He's still primed.
I'll never forget my first priming. The fear. And I was old enough to understand what was happening. One can only imagine how this poor child felt.
He is the victim of an unforgivable sin. Committed by people who saw him as nothing but a means to an end. He must be so frightened.
Then I'll ease his burden.
You don't mean...
I'm not going to hurt him. Contrary to the tales, I don't go around killing dominants for no reason. What if I told you there was a way to remove Walius's icon?
I'd tell you you were a madman.
It's hard to believe, I know. But it can be done. Though, it isn't without its risks. Part of the icon remains no matter what.
So, it might still come to violence.
I don't know. It depends on the dominant. I've seen things end well, and I've seen things spiral out of control. But I do know one thing. If we turn our backs on this child, there will be no end to his suffering. And I think that a worse fate than the alternative. Don't you?
Very well. Do what you must. And whatever happens, I will own the consequences.
Don't be afraid, little one. bear the weight. Hush now. It's going to be all right.
Is it done?
I think so. I can feel the icon inside me. But something's wrong. He wasn't just afraid. He was angry. All right. Let's see what you've given me.
Leviathan!
No, just an eggy. But a formidable adversary nonetheless.
Is everyone all right?
He seems calmer now.
You said Walius was frozen in time. But he knew we were here. How?
I don't know. He's never reacted to anything or anyone. Until now.
The child has been bound for nigh on a century. If he has been conscious from the first, we must remove the seal at once.
It's not that simple. I wish it were, but... there's more to this tale. It would be better if I explained back at the village.
I see. Then let's return before it gets dark.
I'm sorry, Walius. I will make this right. So, part of Leviathan is inside you now, is it? Does it hurt?
No. Not anymore, anyway.
Good. Because I still have need of your strength. If you want to know the rest, we should head to the Witten Hall.
Of course.
Look da, the trees back. Do you think we see him?
And what are you two drawing?
The rill. We're seeing who's...
Bastard things.
I will have to charge you. Well, if you're sure you need it.
What is it you want? Flawless.
The sign of the child.
You don't think he's...
To understand the spell which binds Walius, you must first know who we are, and what drove my forebears to commit such an atrocity. This tapestry is our story, the one that brought us here. After generations of wandering, my people sought refuge in northeastern Storm, some 170 years ago. But in exchange for our safety, the Gregorian Church demanded we renounce our faith, and branded us heretics when we could not.
To be exterminated, as a lesson to others.
And so was it chronicled in the imperial histories, for anything less would have made the Church seem weak. Yet a handful survived. The few who did fled north and west, and in doing so discovered two things that would forever shape our fates. The first was an old legend, revealing how to make your very own Mother Crystal.
I've heard that one before.
Yes, yet it gave them new hope, however false. Our ancestors convinced themselves that they could recreate the divine if they could only find a strong enough heart. A living being capable of channeling torrents of ether. And the heavens provided.
A dominant. Well, yes.
They'd stumbled across a nostrum in an ancient ruin, which they believed could provoke a sudden outpouring of a creature's ether. They meant to enrage his icon. Leviathan would have destroyed everything, had our people not made their second important discovery. A means to stop time itself.
Where did they find that? The Northerners had no such magics, or they would have used them.
When our ancestors first arrived, the land was uninhabited, save for an old witch who lived on the highest peak. Her body had been consumed by the curse, a cruel payment for her long years of service to the Northern Thanes. So desperate were they to prevent the fall of Drake's Eye, they'd forced her to devise a spell to stop time.
But Drake's Eye did fall.
It did. When she finally perfected the necessary magics, it was already too late. As punishment for her failure, the Thanes exiled her to this forsaken place to live out the few days she had left. Knowing her suffering, our ancestors cared for her as best they could, and in return, she gifted them her spell. That even though she should die, her legacy might live on. So armed with both the knowledge of the ancients and the secrets of time, our ancestors settled upon an ambitious plan. They would create a new Mother Crystal, and enchant it that it might endure for all eternity. Thus would our people's wandering, our suffering, finally end, and prosperity visit us once more. And all it would require was the sacrifice of a single child. A small price to pay, or so they believed.
Another victim of man's blind reliance on the Mother Crystals. So we know the seal source. How do we break it and restore the flow of time?
Do you recall the dome of light on top of the cliffs to the west? Inside lie the ruins of an old temple. It was there that the witch built the Vare, a conduit of sorts that channels her remaining ether into the Surge. But it's been a long time since anyone set foot in the place. And now, there are others who claim it as their own.
Then we shall go prepared for a fight. That said, it may be best if one of us stays behind.
You think the village could be in danger?
We saw the ether flow from Wallius in all directions, but only encountered a single familiar. There will be more. And should even one make its way here, I doubt the walls could hold it back for long.
Then I shall stay. The Phoenix will see your people safe, tributary.
You have my thanks.
Very well. We should depart at once. I fear time may no longer be a luxury we can afford.
The Vare is not easy to find. We must first head north, and then west, deeper into the forest.
No sign of the child.
I can't.
Just...
Is everything all right?
Ah, you're the outsider. And this is Talor, one of my patients.
Nothing too serious,
I hope so too.
But...
This affliction, it's like nothing. And my most powerful antalgic, I'm starting to wonder if his condition. Shula said that you were here to help us.
I'd be happy to.
You can. All I need you to do is speak to Talor's son, Pavat. Something must have caused. The trouble is, Talor's too weak to speak. So while you talk to Pavat, I'll...
All right.
Leave me be.
Bastard things.
Oh, the fish. Oh, I never should have let him go alone. Ty, take me. What am I gonna do? You. Shula said you were a force to be... Hey? Oh, I'm worried about a friend of mine. He went into the forest. Would you help me?
I can try.
Of course. You know about the glamour our ancestors cast to keep this place...
Shula told...
Right. So you know the cairns we used to maintain the spell? Well, if it weren't for the likes of us, it would have faded years ago.
So your friend went into the forest to...
Aye, that's right. He said he was going... There are two cairns out that way, one by the...
All right.
His name's Nassef. He's about... If you could track him down and see that he's come to no harm...
Very well. One cairn by the ships, another by the river. Better get moving.
Hail, stranger. Are you a rider?
I am.
Oh, and not just any stables. Something, if I had a guess, I'd say your bird.
Nothing but the best for my Ambrosia.
Ambrosia, eh?
Well, she's tall and strong. And her feathers are as white as snow. I have, yes.
This I've got to see.
I would if I could.
Me dad's got a boat. And he's fed. It'd be perfect timing and all. He's preparing.
He would. All right, then.
He'll be in the storehouse on the...
No,
I do, though not from the forge.
I see.
It's no trouble, really.
Not that I know of. But I suppose he might have been a bit more...
When you say out and about...
Just round the village. Wanders over to Blaz... Maybe he knows.
Maybe.
You one of the outside?
I am.
I am.
She's asked to see my chocobo, but I...
Or you could just say no.
Well, truth be told, I didn't take the idea seriously at first. But thinking of...
If you're sure that's what you... Still, they don't... I'll need you to bring us a mimic goat or two to keep...
And...
Oh, don't ask me. It's been years since I last brought a choc...
Well, the man who made Ambrosia's tack lived in Martha's Rest, and... If I remember... So I suppose I'll go...
I'll be sailing over to Northreach soon to pick up some supply. Greetings, Jim.
Your name is Blazir, is it not? Pava...
Zelda's never been ill at it.
Oh, Fanny doesn't know either. It was she who asked me...
Oh, so did you see anything strange on your way back from the shore? It was like he was expecting something to happen. It was just...
Well, that certainly does. And it might just be what Fanny is looking...
Ah, don't mention it.
Let's see what the healer makes of this.
Almost time for harvest, then.
Aye.
If we pick too many of the... My lord, may I... There is a matter with which...
Of course, what is it?
Please.
Something to...
Yes. I think I was passing by the low gate when I saw a figure moving. But the more I think about it...
And you're sure it wasn't one of the other villagers?
Positive. Of course, it could just be my imagination. But if it is who I think it is, would you go and see? He won't...
Very well. Whether the man you saw is who you believe him to be or not...
Perhaps. Just promise me that if...
Don't worry.
Thank you.
Yamila, this man you saw.
I fear so.
The customer?
I'll explain later.
No sign of the child.
I spoke with Werder, but...
Nothing conclusive. Blazir, the fisherman, told me he kept asking him if he'd seen anything unusual there on his way back.
The forest? Surely not.
But...
I can't say for sure. But I think, Talors, you may have encountered them during your time here.
And you think they may have caused...
I do. At least in a way. And if... Oh, I know it's a lot to ask, but would you... There's an altar there. And if my... Please. I'll explain everything when you return, but time flows...
I remember you.
She's very well...
Oh, don't thank me. You're the... Anyway.
I was hoping to put... And I thought you might be...
Oh, reckon I could do better than that.
Really?
Aye, you'd be doing me a favor. Just be on the lookout for Weil.
I will.
Oh, you're very welcome. And in times like these...
We certainly... Northreach, then. Wouldn't want to keep Mander's father waiting.
And how might I help the garrison today?
Those things didn't fight like men.
Good girl.
Ah, there you are. And this must be...
I have the mimic or two.
Thank you kindly.
We're going to take a little trip across the bay now, Ambrosia. Don't worry. You'll be all right. Well, we made it.
You didn't know? She is as white as snow. You're beautiful, aren't you?
Brave, too. She was calm as you like on the journey over. The mimic gourd will have played its part, of course, but passing through the walls enough to spook most birds even then.
Ambrosia's been through a lot. I doubt there's much that could unnerve her now.
Not with a beloved master by her side.
No. It's you who looks after me, isn't it, girl?
Anyway, thanks for bringing...
And if you and Ambrosia need ferrying back to North...
Thank you.
Bastard things.
You deserve a rest. A bottle. Breath of the Arbor.
Who's there? Stop!
Hang on! I'm coming!
Don't eat me! I'll give you gut rot, I swear!
Stand back. I'll handle this.
All right!
To me, Blade! You're finished! Are you all right?
I'm more than all right. I'm saved! Oh, I could kiss you!
Maybe you should introduce yourself first.
Hervey! I knew it was you. What are you doing here?
I came to see you. Oh, my little canary, it's been so long.
Thank you for saving him and sparing him.
Who is he?
Hervey, one of many clients from my employment beyond the wall.
One of many clients? We spoke every night of our plans together. Whispered songs of love into each other's ears. And then you upped and vanished without so much as a word.
I left you a note, didn't I? I told you I was sorry, but that we could never be together. That I could never abandon my family. And I told you not to look for me.
The flame of your love was as a beacon in the night that got...
Hervey.
I was walking by the coast near Northreach when I saw a lake. The next moment, she and her companions were jumping in a skiff and sailing out to...
It must have been Shula bringing us here. So what? You rowed, found a nose how many leagues across...
And as I did, the skies changed from a dull and... That was when I knew for certain that my...
Oh, why did you come? You should have forgotten me. I cannot leave my people, Hervey. We must return to Haven and
I'm to meet your family.
But first...
You should never have found this place. How could I be so careless?
Don't blame yourself. I doubt anything could have kept that man away.
Oh, ceaseless rill, die bout.
Forgive me.
There's nothing to forgive. You two met at the Vale, I take it.
When I worked there, yes. To earn the coin that my people need to... And for that reason, some of us seek employment beyond the wall. Yet few are the opportunities for followers of a strange faith.
And so you supported your family as best you could?
I did. And I have never regretted it for a moment. I also found Hervey, but our love could never be. I knew that if I revealed my secret to him...
What will happen to him now?
Since our people settled in Mysidia, uninvited visitors have been few and far between.
I see.
That was before my time, you understand? I've never had to make a decision like this before. Yamila, know that I do not blame you for any of this. This was my mistake.
Thank you, tributary. I only hope
I will take that into consideration. But yours is not the only voice I must listen to.
Of course, tributary. However long it takes. Come what may,
I don't care what happens to me. Now I've found my little canary. I'm not going anywhere.
I left Hervey because I couldn't turn my back on my family. And now his life hangs in the balance.
Bastard things.
Before we turned east at the shipwrecks to reach the coast. Now we must head in the opposite direction.
Left it is then.